You know what? Can I just say one thing? I feel like trans people are the only people who are not, like, when you look back through all of civil rights, all of those movements, what's one thing that all of these people had in common? They wanted their own space. They wanted their own thing, right? They wanted something in which their community could be safe from other communities and thrive within that, right? That's all Black people ever really wanted. Like, for time and time again, we would build our own communities, build our own everything, our own banks, our own entire systems in which to thrive. And white people will come along and burn that shit to the ground, literally burn that shit to the ground over and over and over again. We just got to a point where we're like, okay, white people obviously hate us when we do our own stuff. Let's just join theirs. Let's put in the efforts to join whatever they have, because I don't think they're going to burn their own systems to the ground. We vastly underestimated white people's hatred of us there, because they're currently burning their own shit to the ground now. just the hint of us being able to actually have what they have. They don't like that. Anyways, women wanted their own spaces. Women want to be able to vote for themselves. Gay people wanted to be able to marry each other. All of these groups wanted their own shit. And what do trans people want? Somebody else's shit. Somebody else's shit. I'm just saying, like, what a coincidence that the people with the most privileges, men, explicitly want to be in the spaces that belong to underprivileged people, women. Isn't that funny? Isn't that so weird? What a coinky dink. All I'm saying, man, it's just weird to me how I never see trans people advocating for their own spaces. They're always advocating to be able to get into someone else's spaces. A group that they're nothing like. They have a fucking penis at all, but they want access to female-only spaces. Why can't you? Why do you need us? Why? Is it because having us around makes you feel better about this identity that you're trying to take on? That you will never be a woman, right? But you need us around for fodder. That's what all this is about, bro. They don't want their own shit. They want to be in somebody else's shit. It's jealousy. It's pure, unadulterated, and manifesting jealousy. Exactly like how old-timey white people used to come along and burn Black people's shit to the ground. Men are trying to infiltrate womanhood and destroy it from the inside out. I'm just saying, I don't see any trans women trying to advocate for their own sports, their own bathrooms, nothing. They're apparently, and according to them, an entirely different category of person. Yet they want to be in the category to which they do not belong. Force themselves within that category and say that they are the category now. It's been a very, very slow process of, oh, gender and sex are different. Okay, well, gender and sex are the same thing when it comes to the bathroom. Okay, now they're not so different when it comes to sports, because we have all these medicines that can turn a man into a woman, even though his cellular structure will forever say that he's a man. So because of that, he retains most of his muscle mass. He retains his overbuilt bone structure. He retains his penis, because most of these men don't want to get their penis chopped off for one reason or another. They say they're women. They want all the parts of women, but not the penis, though. Don't come from my penis, because I'm still a man. I still want to pee like a man. I still want to have my biological processes uninterrupted by this gender nonsense, but I want to play into it just enough to be able to get what I want. And that's what I really need to hammer home with y'all. The fact that this is not about rights. They've never had to fight for any rights. They've never had to fight for the right to vote. They've never had to fight for the right to get married to whomever they want to get married that wants to get married to them. None of that. They're asking for privileges. They're asking and getting the rights to be able to screw with people's conception of scientific and biological reality. They're not simply asking to not be jeered at for wearing historically or stereotypically gendered clothing. right? No, that's not what this is about. It's not about breaking the gender binary in that way. It's about literally trying to confuse reality so that people who want that kind of power over others can have it as easily as possible. That's what this is about. I'm just letting you know. Let me give you one important example. And this is something that could replicate itself around the entire world because a lot of cultures and societies and countries are adopting these self-ID laws. So there was this woman. She was getting beaten up on by her husband. So, of course, she runs away and gets something filed that says that he cannot, come within a certain amount of feet of her. So then he says, I'm a woman now. And guess what that does? That basically expunges the entire thing from the record because it's like, oh, woman on woman crime? Who cares? That's literally what their law says. If a man is trying to hurt a woman, then it's a sex-based crime. But now that he's a woman as well, who cares? That's the kind of thing that could happen a lot more. And a lot of other stuff as well. Men undressing in female-only restrooms and exposing themselves to little girls while they still have their penis. Stuff like that. That stuff has happened here. That stuff is happening all around the world. I'm not saying it's the worst thing that's happening, but it is happening. And to ignore it, it's kind of crazy. To ignore women and girls being hurt, and to ignore children being put on these wild hormones that have been proven not to work long term, just so you don't have to hurt a grown man's feelings, is literally the opposite of feminism.